Alright guys, welcome back to the channel where we track down, body snatch, and react to nothing but the wildest videos I can find on the internet. So whether you like it, love it, or hate it, we're going to react to it. Let's get after it.
Who really created humans? The Sumerians say it wasn't God. Ancient texts reveal humans were created by the
Who do you guys think created humans? Let me know in the comments, guys.
Anunnaki. They mixed their DNA with early hominids to create Adamu, the first human. Humans were never meant to be free. They were supposed to be slaves. But Enki, the engineer behind their creation, made them too conscious. The truth was carved in stone. Are you ready to accept it?
When I was in my early 20s, I actually went to Egypt to see the megalith.
You guys, look at some of these megalithic structures, okay? And you tell me that you honestly believe the narrative of people banging this shit out with a chisel and hammer.
Lithic structures there, and then I went to Turkey to see the Sumerian inscriptions and carvings and what they thought the ancient Sumerian gods
some
were.
of it I could see, but
what's interesting is if you read Enoch and then follow.
Think about this. The consistency across the planet with the structures is insane. You know what I mean? Like, just the detail, the minute detail in all of these megalithic structures is just mind-blowing.
So about the fall of mankind and the angels came down, rebelled against God, interbred with humankind. That would be, I think, a good starting point for what potentially the Anunnaki were.
Yeah, God probably didn't like that they were coming around and taking the ancient hominids and juicing them up. Yeah, it's probably against the code of the universe.
That could
really
be.
Fascinating. Sure.
God created another species called the angelic species. There are angels, and there are even either subspecies or other species within that. There are seraphim, there are cherubim. They don't look like
there are many of them.
Humans with wings. They look otherworldly. And I've had near-death experiencers describe them to me. I mean, Ezekiel in the Bible describes the same things that I've...
Have you guys ever had a near-death experience? Have you guys ever had, like, your life flash before you? Let me know in the comments, guys.
Heard near-death experiencers describe. So there are life forms and there are creatures beyond just what we know and see and imagine. Seraphim looks somewhat like a serpent, but...
All right, what he just said about us not being able to see them, there's other animals on this planet right now that see in an entirely different manner than we do. It is possible that they see them. You know what I mean? Like, look at dogs. They always sense. I don't know if they're seeing it or they're sensing it, but they seem to know when some paranormal shit's going down.
But with wings and not exactly like we would think. And according to the Jewish prophets,
and they had steroids back then, I'm sure of it.
That they saw these creatures around God's throne, they inhabit that place.
Modern legends of the Anunnaki say that these godlike astronauts came to Earth from their planet and had an impact on ancient human civilizations. But why did they end up here? Modern legends tell us that the Anunnaki arrived on Earth in search of gold, because they were in need of this precious metal to seal the perilous rift that had appeared in the atmosphere of their home planet. Having extracted much gold from the Earth and restored its atmosphere, they finally returned to Nibiru.
You know, honestly, I think we humans are a byproduct of the Anunnaki. And here's a telltale sign of why, not of why I think that, but why I think that, is because we have a want to consume as much gold as we possibly can. And I wonder if that's just like residue from the Anunnaki gods, you know, gathering that for their spaceships.
Having left humans behind to decide their own fate.
Have you ever wondered why the Anunnaki are not mentioned in the Bible? The Anunnaki are known as ancient deities from
We know why, right guys?
Mesopotamian mythology, who supposedly created humans. However, there is no mention of them in the Bible. Some scholars believe that the reason the Anunnaki
It
were
was all
not
taken
mentioned in
out.
the Bible is because the authors of the Bible were not aware of their existence. Others
Because
believe
they
that the
wanted no other
Anunnaki
god
were
before
deliberately
theirs, that's
omitted
why.
from the Bible by religious leaders. According to ancient texts, the Anunnaki were powerful beings who were able to live for thousands of years. They were known to have advanced technology and were revered as gods by the Sumerians. It's possible that the leaders of early Christianity did not want to acknowledge the existence of other powerful beings, as it could have threatened their own power and authority. Alternatively, it's possible that the stories of the Anunnaki were simply not included in the Bible
Mind
because
blown.
they did not fit with the narrative that early Christians were trying to create.
Who exactly were the Anunnaki? The term Anunnaki originates from Anu, the chief god of the sky, and it translates to the children of Anu, or those who came from the sky. These ancient deities played a significant role in Mesopotamian mythology and were revered as powerful beings with control over various aspects of life and the cosmos. The three most prominent figures in the Anunnaki pantheon are Anu and his two sons, the half-brothers Enlil and Enki. Anu was the supreme god and ruler of the Anunnaki, believed to reside in the heavens, overseeing the actions of the other gods. His leadership was central to the divine hierarchy, and his will was considered absolute. Enlil, the god of air and storm, was the firstborn son of Anu and his rightful heir. His role on Earth was to enforce his father's will, essentially making him the main ruler of the planet.
That's the Sumerian.
I can only hope that religion in itself isn't what is wanted in life, you know what I mean? Spirituality is a whole different situation, you know? I just think that we really need to be careful of the gods that we worship in, you know?
Sumerian Kings list located in the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford, England. I was there myself in person to check out this stonework, and it's an incredible tablet that talks about the reigns of kings.
Yeah.
Some kings ruled for 28,800 years, 14,000 years. I mean, 20,000. If the numbers are insane.
These are not Egyptian? This is
no, not Egyptian. These are Anunnaki. This is pre-flood. It's our antediluvial. And then when the flood comes, it talks about, and then the flood swept over the land. After the flood happens, then they descend kingship from heaven back down to humans, and then the reigns of humans begin, but they're not really full humans, they're demigods, they're half human, half Anunnaki, and then their lifespans are like, much shorter because their ruling times are only like 1,000 years and 800 years and 700 years, and it starts to go down,
which is why like Noah was 600 years old.
Right, exactly.
So is this those ancient texts, like the ancient hieroglyphs that show kings going back like 30,000 years?
Did you know
I don't even know what to frickin' say.
the oldest writings on Earth speak of mysterious beings from the heavens? Meet the Anunnaki, mentioned in ancient cuneiform tablets. These ancient texts, dating back over 5,000 years, were etched onto clay tablets. They recount stories of gods descending from the skies. The Anunnaki are said to have come from a distant planet.
Why do you think it was so important that they made a oh my god, I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Why do you think it's so important that they wrote all this shit down? You know what I mean? About all these gods coming from the skies and these beings coming from the heavens. It was so important that they figured out how to write this shit on tablets. You know what I mean? And it just got dismissed at some point in our history, whether it be the Christians or I don't listen. Don't kill me don't hurt me in the comments, guys. I'm just saying I don't know what happened. What entity actually started taking this stuff out of our literature? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Bringing wisdom, technology, and civilization to early human society. Sumerians believed the Anunnaki were responsible for creating mankind. Their tales are filled with intrigue, power struggles, and divine interventions. Archaeologists have uncovered thousands of these tablets, offering a glimpse into the mythology and beliefs of ancient Mesopotamia. One famous tablet, the Enuma Elish, details the creation of the world and mankind by the Anunnaki. It reveals cosmic battles and divine commands. Many scholars debate the true origins and intentions of the Anunnaki. Were they gods, extraterrestrials, or simply mythical figures? The secret texts of the Anunnaki.
Guys, we've been here a lot longer than they're telling us.
What truths do they hold about our origins and the ancient past?
Now, I'll probably get my head put on a stake by some of the religions for suggesting this possibility, but is it possible God's an alien? I mean, is it possible that what we are is some kind of genetic experiment by a much more advanced civilization? Because at the heart of it, isn't what, say, the Bible or the Quran describe something that involves a highly advanced intelligence coming down to planet Earth, imbuing us with knowledge and skills, passing on understanding? Isn't that alien?
Well, if an advanced civilization were to come to the planet Earth in the year 1500, for example, we would consider them to be gods. Now, does that mean that they are God? No. It just means that our level of technology in the
That depends on your definition of a god.
year 1500 would suppose that they are in fact God. But whether or not there is a God is independent of whether or not an advanced civilization were to meet us in the year 1500. These are two independent questions. One question is simply, are they advanced enough to appear like God? The other question is, are they gods that create the universe?
People talk about the Anunnaki, people describe the Anunnaki, and they even have different names. But what you may not know, that these are actually extraterrestrials. And we would say that each of those gods are not single individuals, but they're collectives, they're races of beings. And there's actually, each one of those gods is a different collective, a different race of Anunnaki. They're actually not pure Anunnaki. And there's a difference, because we're going to have the actual Anunnaki, their DNA gets stolen and made their own hybrids. So there's many DNA templates of Anunnaki that are very unique, each one, such as Marduk, which comes from an Anunnaki plus an Omicron, and actually explain them from a multidimensional perspective. Because you cannot understand aliens, God, or gods, you cannot understand Anunnaki unless you understand a little bit about the dimensions. Reality is not just one level, it's many, okay, not just heaven and hell.
Hey, there is a possibility that we've seen more than what we see today back then. There is a possibility that our eyes have diminished in millions of years. Yes, there is a possibility. Just keep that in mind.
Now on Earth, there's 15 levels of reality, because you understand that these beings are not from our level of reality, not just...
I say that because you never know. If our eyes were the same as they were back then, we might still see these gods. Go against the narrative.
These enigmatic gods who were bestowed with such great power were known as the Anunna, or the Anunnaki, gods of both the heavens and the earth.
Yes.
The name, Anunnaki, is highly debated, with some alternative researches suggesting it means those from heaven to earth came, which is factually incorrect. The correct term is most likely princely seed of An, the father of the gods. There is no doubt that the Mesopotamians held an element of anthropomorphic beliefs in their religion, assigning lesser deities to act as mascots for day-to-day tasks, brewing beer, weaving textiles, and overseeing the irrigation of crops. However, upon closer examination, we find that these gods were not a chaotic mix of entities, but a well-structured hierarchy, divided into two categories, those of the heavens and those of earth.
Have you ever heard of the Anunnaki?
And they also, the way they believe is you have two parts of your entity. You have your body, and then you have your spirit. So, and you'll see as we start digging deeper into the Anunnaki, you're going to see a lot of their different beliefs and
these ancient beings from
just what they're about.
Mesopotamian mythology have been the subject of much fascination and debate in recent years. But what if I told you that some people believe the Anunnaki were real and may have actually played a role in human history? According to this theory, the Anunnaki were a group of extraterrestrial beings who came to Earth thousands of years ago. They were said to be highly advanced, possessing knowledge and technology far beyond anything humans of that time could comprehend.
But what did they want with us? Some believe that the Anunnaki were responsible for creating humanity, using genetic
I wish they were giving a little heart right now.
engineering to create a hybrid race of humans and their own species. Others believe they simply visited Earth to mine for resources, and may have even taught ancient civilizations like the Sumerians advanced techniques like agriculture and metalworking. While there is no concrete evidence to support the existence of the Anunnaki, their legend has persisted for centuries. Whether they were real or simply a myth, their story continues to captivate and inspire those who seek to understand the mysteries of our past.
5 most evil gods from Egyptian mythology. 1. Set. He is often depicted as a chaotic and evil deity associated with violence, storms, and disorder. He is known for his fierce rivalry with his brother Osiris, whom he...
And some people say that dog god was the actual god that was on the Sphinx instead of the cat or whatever that thing is, human.
murdered, and his subsequent battles with Horus. 2. Apep. He is the serpent god of chaos and destruction, representing the forces of darkness and disorder. 2. Ammit. She is also known as the Devourer, and is a monstrous creature with the head of a crocodile, the front legs of a lion, and the legs of a hippopotamus. In the afterlife, it was believed that Ammit would devour the hearts of the deceased if they were found to be unworthy during the judgment process. 4. Sekhmet. She is a lioness-headed goddess associated with war, destruction, and vengeance. She is often depicted as a
I would not want to meet that thing in a dark alley. I promise you that.
fierce and violent deity who brings plagues and epidemics upon humanity as a means of punishment. And 5. Manibus. He is seen as a symbol of chaos and destruction, and is believed to be capable of causing earthquakes and other natural disasters, bringing devastation.
Hey, if these things were roaming the earth right now, you know how many people would not be able to handle it?
Civilizations were more than just myths. Across the world, from the Egyptians to the Sumerians, and even in Hindu texts, there are stories of powerful beings descending from the skies. Could these gods actually have been advanced beings, even extraterrestrials, who ancient people revered as divine? Take the Hindu Vimanas, described as flying chariots that soared across the heavens, or the Anunnaki of Mesopotamian lore is said to have come down from the stars to guide humanity. And what about the fiery wheels in the Bible, or the Egyptian god Ra, depicted riding a celestial boat? These tales share a strange, cosmic connection. Did ancient civilizations witness extraterrestrial beings, or were these accounts a way to explain the unexplainable?
Alright guys, that's it for the show, but I'm not saying one way or the other way is right. I want to know what you guys think in the comments, what you guys believe in, if you guys think the Anunnaki is, if we're part Anunnaki, or if, you know, or if we're just humans and this is just some big old lie about, I don't know why they would make that up, but as usual, guys, this is for entertainment purposes only. Until next time, much love and stay lifted. Oh, and before I forget, if you guys want to do a little bit more digging in, go ahead and hit this button right here and watch that video. Or if you just want to dig in further, hit that video down there. But until next time, hit that subscribe button. Much love.